Welcome to the Sotto La Curva Serie A podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're taking the time to listen to this. If you're listening to this, this is our pilot episode. This is our first ever episode that we'll be doing together as a group under the banner Sotto La Curva, podcast where we live for match days, we thrive on the controversy, we breathe the Italian game. If you want the real story of Calcio every weekend, uncut, unedited, and unscripted, you're definitely in the right place where we are fan first home for everything Serie A. And we're hosted by me, myself, Michael, Joe, and Remo. I'll hand things over to Joe to introduce himself, and we could get started right there.
Hi, so my name is Joe. I'm a lifelong Romanista. I've been following Serie A since probably 7 or 8 years old. I come from a family where, interestingly enough, and it's probably the case for a lot of people, my dad's an Interista, my brother's a Milanista, my uncle next door was Juventino. And so, Sunday evenings at my grandmother's house for supper was just like, it was like our very own episode of La Giostra del Gol. We would settle in and just debate the whole weekend, all the matches, everything that happened. And so for me, discussing Serie A and soccer in general is a huge part of my fandom and what I enjoy of following the league. And so hopefully this is a great extension of that. And we can bring you guys some info and some entertainment in our own way.
That's it. And Remo.
My name's Remo. I've been a Milanista since the age of 3. Basically, after Baggio joined Milan after the 94 World Cup, I had a little mullet and really wanted to be him. Despite the fact that I would never cheer for another team, my dad is an Interista, and he instilled in me an appreciation for Italian calcio as a whole. And so my weekends are basically spent watching games, to the chagrin of my girlfriend. But yeah, so soccer is literally one of my favorite things in the world, and I've been passionate my entire life, and it's something that I've always wanted to share my opinions about. So I'm happy to be part of this podcast.
Opinions, Remo, you have opinions?
I have too many opinions.
That's what people are going to be listening for. So that's what we want. We want all the opinions in the world. And I didn't really introduce myself, but I'll introduce myself. I just wanted to give these guys a chance to speak as well. But my soccer fandom started in 2001. Went to Italy with my family. Actually, Roma had just won, I think. No, in the if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I was in Rome. There was stuff everywhere, and I'm just like, what's going on? What is all this celebration? And I just fell in love with the sport. All my cousins there showed me everything that had to do with Roma, although I didn't end up following Roma. But I'm a lifelong Interista. 2006 obviously was that big catalyst to really get you into the sport, when I really, really, really remembered watching soccer for the first time and really just appreciating the joys it brings you. One thing I love about soccer or football, whatever we want to call it here, I think we're going to call it everything under the sun while we speak. But to me, it's the fans and the passion. I'm in love with music, and just the choreography, the singing, the chanting, the tribalism that it brings, and it brings something in you. I don't know. It wakes me up when I hear those chants on TV, especially the Serie A ones, not like the boring Premier League when they have all the same chants. But yeah, so hopefully you'll get to know us during the course of us recording this. Hopefully people listen. But at the end of the day, I think we're doing this for us to speak and have an outlet to speak about the league and sport that we love the most.
Yeah, this is I joked earlier, this is like season 1, episode 1 of what happens when we should do our own podcast, actually makes it out of the group chat. So we're learning on the fly here, guys, but hopefully the passion shines through, and that's what you guys take away. Mike, how were you in Rome in 2021 after Scudetto and ended up in Inter? I think you got something wrong there. How does that happen? I don't know, man.
So my family, because I have family in Rome, but most are from Campobasso. All my family in Campobasso, all Interistas. So, but in Rome, I left with all all the Roma swag that you could. I had a Roma wallet, a Roma jersey, I had everything under the sun, because again, it was at the height of the last time they won anything, I think, meaningful, right?
Whoa. What about whoa?
The
You guys
Conference League, yes.
You had that
taking shots
classic, like,
in the
that
first
classic
5 minutes.
three-fold wallet with the Velcro.
That's exactly the wallet I had. I wish I still had that
I
wallet,
had
but
I had one like that in Maldini.
oh my God. So
Oh,
yeah, I had a Roma wallet like that. So, but I did end up a Roma fan. But yeah, again, my family. Then I visit the rest of my family in Campobasso. Everyone's Interista, and
and
then it goes
they
from there.
corrupted you. They
They
corrupted you.
corrupted me. They
Yeah, to
corrupted me.
break the mold. The
Yeah.
whole family is Interista in Italy, and I just chose to go with Milan.
You went fully the other way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my family here, one of my sisters loved Totti, so she was a Romanista. The other one loved Del Piero, so she was a Juventina. And my mom is from close to Lazio, so she was a Laziale.
Jesus.
Yeah, so but they weren't like they didn't follow as much as me and my dad, but it was always heated when there was games.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's part of the fun.
So, like I said, I think that was a great introduction, and you'll get to know us as we listen on and as we speak about ourselves more and more on each week. Let's get into match day. Inter winter champions first and foremost. We just started. I believe this was the first round or second round after the halfway part of the season. So we wanted to discuss first and foremost a few big moments this week, and Juve losing 1-0 to Cagliari was, I think, one of the biggest moments of the week. Not sure if you guys what you guys wanted to say about that game.
Oh, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, so we had seen a lot of good signs recently from Juve turning a corner, and bringing in a manager like Spalletti is obviously a strong signal of wanting to build something solid. I think Tudor was given a chance because he came in and did well enough, but I think most Juventini and most Serie A fans knew that wasn't going to be a long-term marriage. It's normal to have those sort of speed bumps along the way. They've looked good. They looked good in this game as well. Cagliari basically played, and I don't like the term, but that was as close to anti-football as you're going to see. And it has its place, obviously. But yeah, a tough one to watch as a neutral. Um, I saw on Opta on Twitter, there was something like 52 minutes of play in a 98-minute game. So that's more than an
It was a
entire
record.
half.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah,
record broken there. I'm not even kidding. I heard there was a record broken for, I think,
yeah,
possession
Yeah, they had
without
over
a win.
78%.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So but credit to Coyote, they knew what they needed to do to try and steal a point, and in the end, they came away with the whole bag of points. Good for them. It's a big 3 points in their season. Probably not 3 points that they expected to bring home, but yeah, just a well
but
played underdog game.
we have to say, Juve, I don't think they played that bad. It's one of those things where the score line is you see the score line on your phone or your app, and you say, oh my God, Juve lost to Cagliari. But I don't think Juve played that bad. I think they're just truly missing people that can put the ball in the net for
Yeah,
them. They had so many crosses. Yildiz is putting the ball from. Sometimes I see him on the left side of the pitch. Sometimes I see him on the right side of the pitch. He's running around like a madman trying to get the balls in the box, but nothing's converting from that.
he's so good. He's
Problem
so
where
good. It's just
they're so dependent on Yildiz.
yeah,
That like their second outlet would be McKennie, who's been great since Spalletti came in, but they have no one else. Conceição, is he injured again? He never steps up to the plate. Zagrova doesn't get enough time on the field to do anything meaningful, and when he does, he's all smoke, no fire. Um,
yeah,
and David seemed like he was stepping up, but it's just another step back for them. No, like for me,
Yeah,
yeah.
for me, it's like, how long can you listen? They've been doing well under Spalletti. It's been growth, and I think Spalletti is the right personality to get them where they want to go. But the league is getting better, and yeah, Calgary's anti-football, but man, Caprile and Eds is a very good goalie. Their defense,
Oh yeah,
Mina does his job better than anyone in the league. He's better than
yeah,
Mancini at shit disturbing.
and that's saying something.
Exactly. Then you have Palestra on the one wing. Like the guy
One of the
is
revelations
he's
of the
he's
year. Yeah,
everywhere.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's at Juve next year,
And
or
even
or
like
s- or one of the top three clubs.
their midfield, they had Foloruncio playing every game at the beginning of the season. Since he's gone down injured, they've actually looked better. And you have Foloruncio who's out. So you change your system up and you have Sebastiano Esposito playing more on the wing. You have Kilixo in attack. They have a good team. And they're
Yeah,
solid where they need to be solid. So
yeah,
anti-football, but it's just playing to strength. They knew that they wouldn't be able to match Juve, let's say, kick for kick. So you block and you hit on the counter and you pray for the best. And when you have a goalie like Caprile, some defenders that are good at that, like Mina, um,
Luperto is another great
Luberto. Yeah, it's
experience. It
experience.
just
And I
yeah.
feel like Juve is missing that experience, especially at the back, man. If Bremer's not there, like they
Well,
look
since he came
horrible.
back, they've seemed more solid since he
Yeah,
got
a
back.
hundred
Personally,
percent. But then the two guys on his side, it's not good enough.
no,
I think there's
it's
been so much invested by Juve in strikers over the past couple of years that they haven't been able to move on and address other positions. I mean, you look at, they brought in Vlahovic first, Openda, David, and none of these guys seem to have gelled the way they would have hoped. And so I think they're stuck in a cycle of trying to settle that forward position, and they're throwing money at the wall and nothing's sticking. And it's,
they're gonna throw money again now, right? Like
well,
that's
hopefully,
what they're
yeah,
gonna do.
hopefully Mateta comes in and does something. But realistically, guys, a January purchase.
It's rare.
I mean, is he gonna come in and shift the tables this year? Maybe, maybe not. Coming in January, especially for a coach like Spalletti, who's a very heavy system coach, it can be hard sometimes to pick up the pressing cues and to pick up exactly what Spalletti needs you to do. So hopefully he comes in and has an impact for them, but it's tough. There's a quote from Pantaleo Corvino, was a great sporting director I think he was at Fiorentina for a bit, Parma for a
And
while,
Lecce.
Lecce, yeah, where he said, when you work in football, you can get your wife wrong, but you cannot get your striker wrong. And they've gotten it wrong 3 times in a row now. They had something with Moani, and then that slipped through their fingers. That was a loan with a counter option or something like that, and he ended up elsewhere. Yeah, they just can't get that
Tudor really
striker
wanted
position settled.
him there, and then when he did
Yeah,
Yeah,
get him, you saw that David and Openda weren't his type of strikers. But that goes
Openda's
back to
been.
Openda
Yeah,
is a shadow of
he's
as
been
Openda.
as
nothing.
as, as yeah,
He's
as
like
bad as
nothing.
David has been, Openda's been worse. Getting
Yeah,
out
Yeah,
muscled here, like from every defender. He's always on the floor. But
and
anyways,
like
you
I
think?
find I find
No, go ahead.
watching David he connects the play well. He looks like he has no confidence. Like even though he scored two goals and two, like he looks like he has no confidence anymore.
But we're Canadian. We know. Well, I've watched David play a lot, being Canadian. But he's like that poacher in the box type of striker,
Yeah,
right? Those tap ins, the ball falls to his feet in the box. He can turn around. He can score. He scored a lot of penalty kicks as well. But it's just, I don't think the system suits him. I don't think he's as bad as. He's made to seem right now.
no,
I really
exactly.
don't think the system is suiting him either. I just think it's a relationship right now that it's just not going to work out. It's simple as that. That being said, based off everything we spoke about Juve, do you think they crack in? They're very close to that top four. Do you think they crack in and make Europe?
Europe. Yeah, Champions League. I'm not
I know
sure.
what
I
Joe's gonna
mean,
say, but it's looking at what Roma just did this weekend and who they signed and the coach that they have. I think they'll crack the top four. I think Juve, they miss out barely.
Yeah, I think the way the table looks now is probably how it finishes, honestly. Hopefully we get some excitement and teams trade place a couple of times from now till the spring. But I think the way the table's looking now, Inter Milan, Napoli, Roma, Juve is probably how I projected finishing. That all depends. Roma can shit the bed as easily as the next team. But yeah, it's gonna be hard fought between Roma and Juve for the next couple of months for sure. I think Roma, like you said, with Gasperini, I think they're trying to build a project. I think they finally made him happy after weeks of him, taking shots at ownership and press conferences. But they need to get firing on offense. I mean, the trademark of Gasperini teams has been offense. And strangely enough, this year they've got the best defense in the league, but they're not scoring goals. So as a Roma fan, you just have to hope that that starts to connect the way, Gasperini can have it happen, like we saw at Atalanta with those high firepower teams. And if they could continue conceding at this rate and up their XG and their goals per game, then I almost hate to say it because this is recorded now, so someone's gonna put this back on my face if they don't make it. But if they can start scoring, I think they make Champions League. So,
Listen, I forgot the stat, but I don't know how many of the past winners in Serie A have had least goals against or the best goal difference, right? And I think Roma has 12 goals against right now, which is actually crazy that they're sitting only in fourth. So they won so many games. Yeah. What were we
1-0.
gonna say? Yeah,
They have
it's
like
insane.
7 losses, but only 12 goals against. That's just it reeks of missing. You're not giving your defense a lead to work with. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
In that respect, what you saw this week from Malin with Dybala,
Oh
it seems
man.
like they have automatic chemistry. So,
But is it this one
I
finish?
I
Sorry.
was gonna say I personally thought that Raspadori would have been a great signing for them because he plays in that left attacking midfield position that Gasperini likes to exploit a lot, like the lookman position.
Yeah.
And I think someone like Ferguson, he was starting to pick it up, but Malin just looks like a completely different beast. His movement was so good, and
So there was
he's
nothing. Yeah,
hungry too.
there was nothing difficult about his goal. But as someone who's watched every performance that Ferguson and Dovbyk have put in this year, I'm not convinced that either one of those two guys finished. As simple as that chance looked, I'm not sure that either one of them would have put that in this year. So if he can be clinical and Dybala can stay healthy critically, um, I think Malin, Dybala, and Sule can be a pretty solid trio up front.
I think better than Raspadori, honestly. I feel like he's just more of what they have in a way. Different kind of player, but just that build. They're going to be all shorties in the front, right? Like you need that big presence, a little bit of speed.
Malin's not that big.
No, he's not that big, but he's faster. He's a bit more
He's a
muscular,
bullet.
but
Yeah.
I find he brings something different. I think that's what I wanted to say. Where with Raspadori, I think you get a bit of the same as like type of player that they already have. But moving on, guys, from Roma, saw another game. Fiorentina finally getting some points up as well, starting to make a little move. So they beat Bologna 2-1. Was this all for Comiso? There was a big ceremony before. You saw even
Yeah.
Mandragora pull out the jersey. So was there a little bit of extra motivation there? You guys think?
Could be. I mean, there's moments that galvanize a team throughout the course of a season, and this could definitely be one of those moments. I think they look good. I think probably more than anything else, we're starting to see. I wasn't very aware of Vanoli before he got the job at Parma, and then I looked into a little bit more. But I feel like we're starting to see fundamental changes in the way Parma play. We're starting to see wing backs run at defenses with the ball. I think there's actual growth. I think it's less of a flash in the pan. Hey, let's go out and do this for our late owner, and more of a natural growth in the team.
They're
Couple of
changing the
useful
lineup
results
a
in a
bit
row.
too.
Yeah,
I
I
find he's
mean,
been changing the lineup a lot, testing new things, not scared to test new things also, right? Like different formations, who's playing up top, who's playing on the wing, how many strikers you're playing with. He's really trying to stir the pot up, especially score some goals.
yeah, and these haven't been like they've got 4 useful results in a row, right? I mean, two wins and a loss, and 2 wins and 2 ties in their last 4 games, and that includes a matchup against Milan where they got a draw. Bologna is not an easy team to beat. 2-2 against Lazio. Early in the year, this Fiorentina side doesn't take a point from Lazio or Milan. They definitely don't take 3 from Bologna. So they're growing, thankfully for them. Let's see if they can keep it up. That team has like this shadow over them. I feel like almost with Comiso now, and before that a story, and it's just this.
Bove, what
I don't
happened with
know.
Bove? What happened
Both,
with
yeah,
Barone? Their
Baron. Yeah, that's
direttore?
right.
Yeah,
But
So
they're too good to be where they are. In all fairness, like whether they
yeah,
needed this to galvanize them or not, like they won this week without Keane. Piccoli finally scored.
yeah,
Dodo looked like classic Dodo, like not he
yeah,
he
he had a
doesn't look like
fantastic
he's
game.
doing. Yeah, wow. Gosens is back, which is a huge difference for them, and they're figuring out their midfield a bit because it seemed like Mandragora and Nicolucci Caviglia were starting every game at the beginning. They weren't sure about Som, about Fazzini. Now Endure is picking up a couple games back to back to back that he's playing well. He's scoring, or I think he got his goal called back.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
But
called
he,
back.
yeah,
But he looks good and he's young and he's like that's a good sign for them. It seems like they're getting rid of some and bringing in Fabian, who scored against them this weekend. Um,
a little
so
audition.
yeah, this team is too good to be where they are. So it's only normal that they start picking up, and once they gain that confidence, they're gonna start winning more and more, and having that driving force of an um, emotional tragedy that happened with Comiso. I think it's just gonna help them in a sad way. Obviously, it's not a it's gonna help them be better than they have been.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think they need to get their head around it, and hopefully, from a succession standpoint, you know, step one would be to make sure they're safe this year, and that they have something they could build on for next year, and hopefully they transition well to whoever is going to be calling the shots next, can make the right decisions to continue building on what they can start doing as of now.
And before we started recording, we were speaking about that relegation battle, that relegation zone. They're just out of it, but we all don't think they're going to be there. There's Lecce, Pisa, Verona, very close. Cagliari also, Genoa. Like like everyone's could be within that relegation battle also. But ultimately, I'm sad that if Verona will go down personally.
Oh,
Um,
I hate
I
Verona.
I don't. I love. There's something about that Verona team, the Bentegodi. Like
They never go down. It doesn't
they
make
never go
sense.
down. They're always up.
Yeah,
But there's something about that team that I always enjoyed. This year they're okay to watch. Last year I found they were worse to watch, especially at
Yeah.
the beginning. This year they're a little bit more exciting, but
Well, they have Orban
ultimately,
and Giovanni.
yeah.
yeah, those are
So
those two young guns up front, and hopefully they can. There was already talk in this window of Jovan to Lazio. I think
And
I had heard
Atalanta. Well, now it's Lazio. It was Atalanta beforehand.
before Raspadori went there. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean they can hang on to that. Yeah, they're not a bad team. I think it's just sort of tough to string
I
wins together in such a tight league.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
but
find it's very
ultimately
tight, right, at the bottom. Like
it's super
even
tight.
Yeah,
Anybody, even
even
up to 12.
Pisa,
Yeah,
Pisa looks at
you know,
there's no newly promoted team that looks bad. Like you can't say like, oh, they're for sure going down.
Well, Cremonese
Everyone
is the
Yeah.
said
biggest surprise, right? Yeah.
yeah, everyone said Cremonese at the beginning of the year. They look good. I mean, Davide Nicola is a cult legend, but
Yeah.
like they look good, and Pisa looks good. Sassuolo looks good. All these teams look pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genoa too, Cagliari. There's
Genoa,
something good to.
man.
I think gearing towards the end of the season, we're gonna see it. It's gonna be a closer battle at the bottom of the table than I think at the top. Personally, it's gonna be
Yeah.
more fun to watch that battle going on of the relegation.
Yeah. I think Cremonese with Davide Nicola is like the Serie A Sam Allardyce, right? Like he's like
Sam
Wolf.
Allardyce.
Yeah, yeah. He's like the Wolf from Pulp Fiction. You bring him in and he cleans up the dirty jobs. It's just that's what he does when he comes in and he keeps you in Serie A. So let's see if he can keep that streak up.
So I wanted to hit on there's three teams that are at the top of the table, and we'll hit on them quickly. Yeah, Napoli, Inter, Milan all get narrow 1-0 wins. All pretty convincing, I would say. Nothing, again, another thing on paper you see 1-0 and like, okay, not great match, but I think they all played super, super well.
Well, I don't know,
Um,
man. Napoli looked sort of that was
Well,
not a
listen,
great. And
They
they're
have
coming from
like
like
18
a big
injuries.
letdown game. Yeah, yeah. But it's just, I
They
mean, they
got
created,
three
I think,
injuries
like
just in this game.
yeah,
yeah, they created like
there's
point five xg or something like that. So I mean,
Yeah,
they didn't create much, and for a
I
team of that
think
caliber, I don't know.
I think they did
I
their job with what they had, just like all again, like Inter, like Milan, like Napoli. Um, they did with what they had. They got the result right at the end of the
good
day.
teams win. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly,
And
exactly.
Yeah,
Napoli was a team that always played well and had this great style. And Conte brings in that winning mentality, even with three injuries, with Hoyland who never takes a break. Apparently, they
yeah,
keep winning. If they could win when they look this bad or when they're suffering injuries, hey, that's what good teams do.
yeah. And to get the example is clear, right? You get a guy like Lobotka getting a goal. It's just you're not. That means if Lobotka's
Don't
scoring, then
remind me.
you were not meant to lose. I mean, I think it's his third career goal. He's not a spring chicken either, but he showed up at the right time for them. So yeah, good teams get it done, and you're not gonna catch a Roma fan complaining about a 1-0 win this year. I can't really bash that.
And as a Milan fan, I might start complaining about our 1-0 wins.
Yeah, well,
Pulisic is snake bitten. He's missed like 3 1-on-1s in the past 2 games. But
yeah,
it's Cortomuso, right?
that's what it is. Yeah,
It's and you've heard since the beginning of the season so many people complain about, oh, Serie A, no goals, it's record low goals. Who cares? This is what Calcio is. I want my
yeah,
team to win, whether it's 1-0, whether it's 2-1. If your team's in the relegation battle, if they get that 0-0 tie away from home, you're happy. You don't care if it's not 4-4. Like
yeah.
uh,
I don't
even
think I always think too much was made of the low scoring nature of Serie A. Personally, different styles of play between leagues, but yeah, it's
what makes
result.
it
It's a result
interesting.
based business. Yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
there's been this debate forever. But there was a year that I forgot. Our goals over the last few years have not been crazy. I think last year it dipped in terms of the league itself. I can go get some stats also, but correct me if I'm wrong. There was a point we were scoring a lot more goals, like two
Mhm.
seasons ago, 3 seasons ago. The league was getting super attack oriented, but I feel like
Or
this
poor
year.
defensively.
Or yeah, you could look at it both ways. Both ways, you're absolutely right. We had a lot of attacking talent come in and score a lot of goals over the last few years. But like this year has been one closer, especially in the title race. And you look at title races everywhere; it's not as close. Yes, now we're starting to see like maybe some teams like get further and further away from each other. But I find I go into a weekend, I don't know who's going to beat who ever. Like there's no guarantees in this league where I find other leagues you're like, okay, you could put them down on paper. Like I'll put $100 on this team because they're gonna win, right? Whereas this season in the
My
Serie A,
parlays are I was my parlays are suffering.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. I just feel like this season, the Serie A, we don't know who's going to beat who and when. Look at it, even Inter, the best team in the league, quote unquote, points wise, everything, right? I think even XG wise, but we lost all the big games. We're winning versus the
Mhm.
smaller teams and the smaller teams only. But um, all this to say, I think the league's in a pretty healthy place in terms of competitiveness. There's a lot of stuff we need to fix in this league, but competitiveness this year, I think it's we have it.
Yeah, definitely.
Lastly, last game today, I think we wanted to touch on the Monday evening game, Como Lazio. Remo dubbed it the Nico Paz show, and Como has been the Nico Paz show, I think, all season. What are your thoughts on the game, and what are your thoughts on Como overall?
I think Como, that was a good, bounce back win for Como, who had a couple of tough fixtures, tough, results that didn't go their way recently. That 3-1 loss to Milan, only getting 1 point from Bologna. I think they looked, they were full credit for their result. Um, Lazio was just horrible, guys. I joked earlier this morning that Lazio is sort of like they're like the NPC of Serie A. Like they're just there, they make up the numbers. There's not much ambition. And Remo, to your credit, you said it. Lazio without Provedel this season is like maybe not a relegation team, but they would probably be hovering somewhere around that Torino, Cagliari, Parma range.
Provedel and
They
Sari,
don't
I
look
think.
good.
But even Sari, I
Yeah,
think he's doing magic with what he has. To be honest, like
yeah.
it's
And Lotito
incredible.
just insists on making it harder on him. So I mean, I don't
He's
know.
gonna smoke more
And they brought
cigarettes on
in,
the bench.
yeah, and they brought in Taylor, throws him straight into the starting lineup. He was out there and just butchers Paz for a penalty. There's no need for that. Like he's just swinging his leg around like he's attached to a rod on a
Was
Birdini table.
it was on
Uh,
Kakure.
Yeah, that's it on Kakura. Yeah, I mean, what are we doing? I don't know.
It's
It's just
Lazio is just a victim of Lotito, basically. It's listen, I'm happy they finally got rid of Guendouzi. He's literally the most like
I can't stand that guy.
Italian antipatico guy on
Oh
the
my
field.
god.
But
I
they
still
need to
remember him getting
focus.
into it with Dybala. I think it was or 2 years ago or something. They
Mhm.
had that exchange during the derby. I mean, Dybala is not a vocal guy. I mean, to get a rise out of Paulo Dybala, you've got to be a shit disturber, like grade A. So yeah, I think I'm happy to see the back of him. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. It's
It's
just
it's sad. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I had written something up, and I said Lazio is the one team that obviously, with they had the transfer ban over the summer,
yeah,
it didn't look any better. Every team in the top half got better, except them,
Basically,
and it shows. And unfortunately for Lazio fans, for even the competitiveness of the league, it's great when Lazio is doing well because it makes things more interesting. But they look so bad, and all they do is complain.
yeah, and it's this sort of Tito's like he's like the Jerry Jones of Serie A. Like he's owner and general manager, and he's just convinced that he can. I mean, look,
he's
Ilmitari
done
was
well
there
for them.
forever.
You
He's done
know,
okay, but I mean, I think I think there's an advantage to having someone who's a career direttore
hundred
doing that
percent.
role. You know, Ilmitari for the longest time did not much with Lazio, and he's gone to Milan, and with Allegri, that duo has built a team that's 3 points off the machine that is Inter over the past 5 years. You know what I mean?
Tade found some
So
good talent.
yeah,
He was the one that signed Milinkovic Savic. He brought Immobile.
yeah, yeah,
He did quite a bit with very little that Lotito gave him. And
yeah. And they just couldn't make their working relationship hold up, and I think they're paying the price for that. I think there's less vision now at the club without him. Maybe he was, checking the balances a little with Lotito, and yeah, it seems like they really miss the guidance of Tare this year, anyways. For now, so
I
the
think it
transfer
might
No
ban
be
doesn't
hard
help.
chance.
to work with him, right? Like it's hard to work with Lotito. He counts every penny. He has a strict financial plan that he puts in. You know what I mean? Like it's not easy to work with him or work with people like that.
Yeah.
You know,
He's a poor
Yeah.
De
sometimes
Laurentiis.
that's what I was about to compare him to De Laurentiis, right? They're
Only
kind of
poor.
similar.
Like at least Napoli
Exactly.
is well run.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
Napoli's
been
well run. Yeah,
De Laurentiis has been super quiet this year. Actually, I feel
yeah.
I
like
know.
I think because of Conte being who he is and so
You can't fight
outspoken.
with him. You can't fight with Conte.
Yeah,
That's for
I,
sure.
yeah. So I think maybe De Laurentiis said, "Hey, you know what? This guy has done well. Won me the league last year. Let me mind my business and let him do his thing." So we've seen a little bit less of De Laurentiis. But I mean, the league will refuse to reschedule a game for a Champions League or something, and you'll have an outburst by season's end for sure. But so far, he's been keeping his opinions to himself. Yeah,
Just hopefully he does something for Conte on the transfer market.
yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like Lang is on his way out. So
Mhm.
Luca as well. I mean, they're hanging on to him for a while. Before Malin came in, I was sort of hoping that Roma would turn that way. I've always been a big fan of Lorenzo Luca. Um, I'm Sicilian and I have a huge soft spot for Palermo, and so I've been following Luca from his days with Palermo. Um, but yeah, I think with Lang on his way out, maybe they settle something for Luca, and they go out and get something to help encourage Conte to try some turnover and slow this injury bug down.
Yeah, and look, overall, I think you should go segue to talking a little bit about maybe our teams in the transfer market. Talk about the transfer market overall as a whole, maybe after. But I think we could all take a little segment, maybe talk about or have an open discussion about our teams in the transfer market. I can start here with Inter and see, what we're missing. Who should we go get? What are
Young
our
Serbs
dreams?
or Croatians.
Yeah, basically, that's exactly, or old Croatians as well with Perisic. I'm hearing
Yeah.
Perisic being
Oh
rumored
wow,
around
really?
too. I sort
Oh
of got
man.
that's a rumor. I don't know, like 6-month deal, bridge the gap. This is what the things you see on Twitter, so you never know what's true. But definitely, Inter first and foremost have an issue, I think, at the back line. Personally, I'm going to talk about our forwards this year have been outstanding. Every single one of them come in. Like I'm not worried. Last year, the last few years, last 10 years, I think we had maybe one forward playing great all season, and I'd be worried or shitting bricks when another forward would come on. Correa, Taremi, anybody that would just join in, and you have no belief in them when they came on. But this year, I find that, the forwards are not an issue whatsoever. Everyone's scoring, but definitely the
Of
back
course.
line. We have an old back line, especially playing in 3 competitions. The Vraya Cherby probably on their way out next year. So definitely, I think we would have to solidify that back line. Problem is, it's a World Cup year. A lot of people aren't moving. I don't know if it's usually that, right? World Cup year, people are usually staying where they want. Or maybe you'll have those little moves to try to maybe boost the last 6 months of the season to try to make your national team for the World Cup. And also, like Dumfries is injured, so we have definitely a right back issue. Um,
Can
I
I
don't
give
know.
a
We tried to get
suggestion for
Cancelo.
Inter?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I was Inter and Dumfries is injured, and I'm looking for a right midfielder, right wing back, or whatever. Kone from Pisa.
Yeah,
It's a
that's a
good
He
solid
would
option there.
shout.
slot so
Yeah.
well. He plays the same way as Dumfries, right? Aggressive, physical, gets in the box for headers. I think he'd fit perfectly.
Soler is
So
another one that I can see well at Inter.
Soleil's
Who?
been rumored, I
Soler?
think, since the summer
Yeah,
Oh,
to
Soler,
join
Soler
Inter.
from Udine.
Soleil, yeah.
Soler, yeah, from
Yeah.
Udine, yeah.
Yeah, and right now we had what, João Cancelo that was rumored. I think he prefers to go back to Barcelona. Doesn't want to come because the thing about Oak Tree, they're gonna try to just get a small loan deal, wait for the summer, and then make maybe a bigger signing. But right now they're looking for like that small 6 month loan that someone could come in and do the job. That's why I think they were looking at Ivan Perisic to come in for 6 months. I know they're looking for the future. There were lots of talk about Palestra. I know he's having a fantastic season. That Inter are trying to go after him as well. Mm, there's even the Bosnian from Sassuolo. What's his name? I can't even see his name. That is,
Moremovic.
Moremovic.
yeah, Muremovic, exactly. So again, he's rumored as well, and Lacic from Hajduk Split. So again, you were absolutely right, Remo. Some Serb or Bosnian or Croatian that we're trying to sign up.
All the itches.
All the itches for Inter. But yeah, I think I don't see like to me this has been the slowest January transfer market in a while. There's not many names. Just like the summer market was, it feels similar to that. Not a lot of big talent that they entered their contract or anybody that we can really go out and get. Again, they don't want to spend money, but definitely we have to strengthen the back line before the end of the season, I think. What do you guys think?
It's hard because you can't make bank on a Cherby or De Vrij, so you're stuck with them till their contract runs out. But you need someone else to come in, and then it's hard to give someone new or someone young the reins when you have such experience there. So I don't know.
I
Hopefully
can't. I
they
can't.
don't get Palestra. That's all. I don't want
Akanji's been
Palestra to go there.
fantastic.
Yeah, that was a
Akanji has
very good
been
signing. That was a very good signing.
amazing.
Yeah,
And it
Akanji's
flew
looked
under the
really
radar
good.
too.
Yeah, Akanji's looked very good. Good with the
Bisek
ball at his
is
feet. Reads the game well. Yeah.
Bisek is good too.
Yes.
You're good. You need maybe someone
Bistek
to
is
come in for Bastoni.
yeah, definitely. Bastoni's been out, been playing every game. I think the first coach Kivo to bench him. I think he played every single game last season, and Bastoni's been taking little breaks here and there. But I definitely think that we have to strengthen the back line. But we'll see. We'll continue to monitor it throughout the next few weeks. But there's 2 weeks left of the transfer market, but I don't see anything big happening. How about Milan? What's Milan? We already got one signing come in and score. Anybody else rumored
Yeah.
for Milan?
Um, Honestly, I think Milan needs to get rid of some players, especially in that midfield. The quicker we get rid of Loftus Cheek, and I mean, if you could get rid of Fofana, it'd be great. At least you can make some
Oh
money,
my.
give some space to Yashari and Ricci, who do well every time they play and have been getting better and better. I think the most important thing for Milan now is, again, like Inter, a defender. Gabbia goes down and they look like a completely different team. And it's not like Gabbia is a world class center back, but
Yeah.
Tomori is aggressive and attacks every ball. Pavlovic is aggressive and attacks every ball. Gabbia is the only one that stays back and plays a bit more with his head and a bit more calmly and intelligently. You have the Winter that comes in. I like the Winter. I think he should replace Tomori long term. But apart
Why
from
didn't he play more in the beginning of the season, the winter? Like, was he having an
it's
injury or
Allegri.
just
No, it's
Allegri?
Allegri.
Okay.
Allegri never, he doesn't like to bring in new players easily. I'm surprised, honestly, that Bartezaghi has played so much because I'm very happy. He looks great, and Estupinian looks horrible.
Yeah, horrible.
Um, but I think I think if they get another 1 to 2 center backs, they were talking about Thiago Silva. That would have been great because plays a couple games here and there. You rest him, but he's there even as a locker room presence. I think it would have been a great signing. But in the end, they chose to go a different route. But honestly, they need someone like that, someone experienced, someone that doesn't mind sitting on the bench, and that when they come in and they're called on, they bring experience. And I mean, they have Atekame to replace Salamakers when he needs a break, but it doesn't seem like they're giving Salamakers a break.
It's
And I
another
think he
guy I
needs a
can't
break.
stand.
He's so good. He
Oh
needs a
my
break.
god.
He's been playing outstanding all season.
He's
He
been
played
fantastic.
outstanding with Roma. He played outstanding with Bologna, and
Yeah.
he's finally getting his chance with Milan in his position that when he was signed, he was a right midfielder.
The
He
only
wasn't a
reason
right
why I like
winger.
him, I love him, is because in this day and age, especially in the city, yeah, there's not many guys that take on defenders. Like it's
No,
beautiful to
he's so
watch him
confident
take
too,
on
though.
defend. Yeah, exactly, with the
Yeah.
ball and
And he
dribbling.
plays smart. He's a coach's dream. He does what the coach wants. He passes the ball safely, and he'll take that risk when he needs to. He got an assist this weekend off a great touch with his shoulder, and then a volley cross to Fulkrug, right on Fulkrug's head. Uh, he's probably their best player right now, but he needs a break. He got injured at the end of the game. Now, what are you gonna do? You're gonna play Atekame there, who played what 30 minutes all season. It's they don't have a second line, which is understandable because they're not in Europe, but they need some relief.
Rem, do you think Fulkrug, I mean, coming in, scoring, first start, do you think this is an actual solution? I mean, not as evident as with Juve, but Milan's search for a striker has been up and down as well, right? We saw Jimenez come in last year and had a hot start, and then he faded. They've tried Leao there. They've tried Pulisic as a punta. I feel like there's, I don't know. My sneaking suspicion is that with all the teams playing 4-3-3 and looking for width, there's a general lack of real like attacking focal points, number nines, if you will. Do you think Fulkrug could be the answer past this year? I
A
mean, he's
good
on loan,
stopgap.
so
Yeah, I
he's
think he's
on
a good
loan. I mean,
stopgap.
does he stick around?
Depends what they do with Jimenez and with Nkuku. Because if those two leave, then you could keep Fulkrug and maybe sign. Because your starters are Leao and Pulisic when they're healthy. That's you can't not start them. They're your two most dynamic players. Yeah, you don't have a focal point, but you keep teams guessing.
Allegri
They
loves this focal point, though.
I know. That's why Fulkrug
He
comes
loves
in
this
second
target man.
half, holds up the ball. When they start playing Europe, they can't play Pulisic and Leao every week. It just won't happen, especially because they're both made of glass, apparently. Um, but I think Fulkrug is a good stopgap. If he signs next year, he's not a starter. He's someone who comes in second half again,
Bench,
a
yeah.
locker room guy, a Modric type signing. But in the end, that plan is always to save the spot for Camarta. He didn't do well. Well, he didn't do well. I've watched a few Lecce games because he's there. He did decent. Lecce is not a very attack minded team. And now he has to have surgery on his shoulder. But the
Yeah,
hope is that a year, 2 years. I personally think that this year he could have played. He could have stayed at Milan and played instead of Jimenez or whatever other Canemorto that they played there. Like it's
yeah. With their European commitments, he would have probably gotten some time uh, to at least audition for that role next year.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, I mean, then again, you'd be keeping Camarda and hoping that Massimiliano Allegri launches a young player's career. I don't know.
Hey Bartezaghi.
Me- Yeah, is that? I think
I'm
that's
telling you,
more out
Bartezaghi
of
is getting called up.
necessity.
Bartezaghi is getting called up to Italy. Him and Palestra are
I
the two
And
best wing
Palestra,
backs
I
right
don't
now.
think so. I don't think they're getting called up. Not
No,
by no. I don't want to. We can talk about this maybe
in
when we
March.
do a deep dive. Yeah, in March exactly before Italy. But I don't think they're getting called up. I think he's gonna go with the same team. Just trying to build that group together. Maybe World Cup, different story. I don't know if we make it, but I think for those two games, anyways, not like I said, I wouldn't want to get into it. There's two questions also. Milan have a lot of rumors, so it's good that we can jump into that. I saw a funny rumor, and you tell me if there's any truth to this, but I saw a swap deal, Loftus Cheek and Gatti. Did you guys see that?
Doing
I
it.
didn't. Oh,
I saw this. Juve is like because apparently Allegri loves Gatti. He wants Gatti on the team, and I saw a swap deal for Loftus Cheek and Gatti. Again,
I,
that's pure
as a Milan fan, I
hyperbole,
wouldn't mind.
maybe. Yeah, I think so too.
They
But
need a good second line defender. He's gonna come in on when Tomori's out or Gabia's out. It's a good signing, and for me, Loftus Cheek. That's all I have to say.
yeah, he's
Oof.
been yeah. Oof. And then we can segue to Roma after this. But can Milan maybe steal that Joshua Xerxes, and is Xerxes still, after Malin coming in, is Xerxes still on Roma's radar?
I don't think Milan should go for him. I think that ship sailed, and I think he's not what they need. But I think at the end of the season, Milan should seriously look into Moise Kean.
I think that would be a great fit as well.
I mean, that's fantasy signing, but if Fiorentina
It is
doesn't do well,
fantasy signing, but I think
he
that would,
wants to leave, and Milan need a striker, and he's
I
friends
don't
with
know.
Leao. Why not?
I think if you put Moise Kean and Rafa Leao in the same locker room, they're gonna be more. They're gonna be like having rap
The
battles instead of practicing. I don't
the
know.
hottest mixtape.
yeah, I could do a nice
Yeah.
mixtape, a collab.
I think, yeah. For Roma, honestly, I liked Zirkzee to Roma. I think that Gasperini's system has always been heavy on forwards who are good in and out of possession, good movement. I don't think Dobbik or Ferguson were ever a good fit for Gasperini's style of play. They're too static. They're too they slow the play down too much. For the right style of play, look, Dobbik had a great year at Girona as a target man, as like a 1994 Premier League target man. That's not how Gasperini plays. So to bring in Evan Ferguson, who's the Walmart Artem Dobbik, I never understood it. I think Xerxes is a much better fit. I think Roma for the transfer market, it repeats. You guys are talking about center backs. I think we need someone to come in and help shore up. We lost Ndika to AFCON, and it was definitely felt. Zolkowski played well enough as a stopgap, but I know they're looking at Dragusin, which could be, I think, an interesting purchase for Roma. A good ball playing center back like Gasperini likes. And I think we need to start looking at what the forward line looks like next year. I think Dobbik, we need to settle a new home for him. Ferguson is on loan, so he's probably on the way out. Dybala, after this last game, sort of hinted at, hey, these might be my last months in Italy. So, it might not be too surprising to see Roma bring in a youngster to audition for a role in the offensive line next year. Maybe someone like Luca, maybe someone like Zirkzee. I mean, Zirkzee is not. I don't think that door is fully closed. I think that with the change of manager, they shut down their winter market. If they make a decision that he's not part of the plans, he might still move this winter. So, Roma's probably keeping a close eye on that. I was never a big fan of Raspadori. I think he's too similar to Sule. And I think that, it would make more sense to have someone with a different skill set there. I think Roma, the main thing is bringing in a center back to help cover for the often suspended Mancini and the often injured Hermoso. Someone to play alongside Ndika. And then, look at figuring out something long term for that forward line, bring in more guys who are suited to Gasperini's style, like Robinho Vaz, who I'm super excited about. I don't know how much playtime he gets this year, especially if Gasperini's saying that Malin can and will play as punta. I don't know how many minutes Vaz is going to get, but I trust Massara, I trust Gasperini, and they spent for Roma what is a good amount of money on a very young player.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what he could bring to the table when he's given the chance. He will be. European fixtures are starting up. I think
Roma's a
it's
project, though, right?
yeah. I mean, if we
year
yeah,
one.
It's
yeah, if
Gasperini. He's a long-term guy.
Yes,
It's not.
exactly. He's the guy they spend money on this year. That's the way you have to look at
Yeah,
it. Also,
they're
that's the
they're
way I
gonna
see it.
slowly build the team that he wants, and he has to be patient more than anything. But I don't think
yeah,
that
because
by
I mean,
next season it'll be the team that he wants either way. It'll be closer, but not there yet.
yeah, and I hope that there was a lot of back and forth in the media between, and Ranieri surprisingly stayed pretty quiet throughout all of it, which I don't think helps. I mean, Gasperini, and he said it multiple times, I don't do calcio mercato. He's a manager, he's a tactician. I think the club, and Dan and Ryan Friedkin have whatever they have going on, jet setting around, flying Air Force planes and making movies and shit. But there needs to be someone, I thought that Ranieri would be used more as a, the face of the club more than he has been. He's there, and I'm sure his hand is felt in meetings and in discussions. But I'd like him to come out and support his guy. He really wanted Gasperini at all costs. This started towards the end of last year. The rumor started, of Gasperini, and he got his
It's his
man. And I'd like
handpick.
to see him. Yeah, I'd like to see him come out and support him a little more. We're in the middle of Calciomercato, and you listen to the press conferences, and those are the only questions he's getting. Uh, I'd like to see some more communication from somebody at the club other than Gasperini, and let the guy do his job. Massara was never very vocal, even when he was number two to Maldini there at Milan. Maldini was the face,
You
and,
had
and Massara
Maldini, yeah.
was, yeah. So I think we're missing that, and far be it from any Romanista to ever speak bad about Don Claudio, but I think he needs to raise his profile a bit and fill that gap there as the public
Hey,
presence
if you need public presence, there's one guy you could always bring back. His name starts with F.
with F.
And Francesco Totti.
No.
Oh, dude, I
Hey,
mean,
you put him with Masada, it might work. He wants to.
maybe,
He's a Maldini type guy. He wants to be there. He wants to help the team as much as he can. Just less intelligent than
yeah.
Maldini, probably. But
Whoa.
Oh, maybe not. I don't
Whoa.
know. Listen, Totti's always good for a soundbite, right?
yeah,
So I
exactly.
don't.
That's why if
Ooh.
you want someone, to be a
Yeah.
mouthpiece, you have Totti.
It's funny.
I'm surprised that he's not more involved than he is. And I know that with the last ownership group, it didn't end well with Pallotta and with Di Benedetto. But I'm surprised that there hasn't been more. You don't even see him at the games all that often. Uh, I don't know. It's a weird. And he's got his own stuff going on at home
Yes,
also.
yes.
Um, but yeah,
I
that's
think it
not a
brings
bad
more
shout.
drama. I think it brings more drama. You need someone
It
that's a
might.
bit more.
It might. And then the
And
danger is just his presence within the club. Are too many people going to defer to somebody like that? Maybe.
He becomes
never
lightning
know.
rod, which is good. I mean, I don't know. I look at like Inter has Zanetti as isn't he their vice president?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Zanetti, like you're
You have
comparing apples and oranges. The guy's
well,
a
yeah, I know
saint
he's
from St.
quiet. Yeah, I
Yes.
know, I know. You have Maldini. You had
He-
Maldini, who is he made. Listen, I'm still sour about him leaving, but he made Milan come back onto the scene, be relevant again. Why not
yeah,
Tati?
it brings a certain spark, especially then. That's what.
Legends
Again,
belong at their clubs.
Zanetti is just the perfect man for the role he's doing right now, honestly. But anyways, yes, I agree with the legends belong at their clubs and they deserve to be there, and bring them forward. But it's funny, we talked a lot about our wish list, or talked a lot about these teams that we're talking about. Everyone has a defender shortage, or we're looking for defenders in a league that we always talk about high quality defenders, high quality defense, but I think that's starting to dip as well. Usually, we always had that. Maybe we didn't have the forwards before, but um, I think that's getting lost as well. But we'll
Young
see
players
what comes in.
coming.
Yeah, young players.
There's
We have
some
to
good
play more
young
young
players.
players.
Yeah,
But
if
it's
these
good. It's
guys
good
if
that
you
you're
guys
seeing
get
more
on
this
teams.
year. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean
that's the
even center
problem.
backs. Off the top of my head now, it's hard to think, but which is not a good sign. But Gomuzzo with Fiorentina, who okay, he makes mistakes every once in a while, but he has promise. You have Coppola that he went to England and whatever. Leone too, he's coming back from injury soon. You have a couple of good young Italian defenders.
Yeah,
Um,
if
just
they
need to
play,
get a
that's the thing.
chance. Yeah,
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
won't. That's the problem.
Marianucci at Napoli also, there was a lot of hype
hey, he looked good though
early
when he
on.
played. He looked
Yeah.
good. He makes some mistakes
Yeah.
every once in a while, but young guys are gonna make
Scalvini's been a
mistakes.
bit
Oh,
Scalvini's been a
Scalvini
bit
looks good when he came
disappointing.
back. No, when he came back, he's
Yeah.
been looking
Well,
good.
it's the injury question, right? Like, is he
Yeah, but he looks good every time he plays. It's crazy. He's everywhere
at
on the
that
field.
stage in your career? And I don't think, like you were saying, Mike, I don't think Gattuso's going to do anything wild with his team selection for the playoff.
He should.
But I'd like to see some of these guys. Maybe you should. There's definitely an argument to be made. But the thing is, it's sort of like if you make that would define him, right? If he makes the World Cup, he'll probably get a chance to manage at the World Cup. If he doesn't, they'll probably go elsewhere. And so it's a lot riding on the selection for those 2 games. I don't think we're going to see any big surprises. Hopefully, we punch our ticket and then we start trying to bleed in some of these young guys. I think would be beneficial. There's a lack of young guys in general. I mean, look, how many times are we going to call up Giovanni Di Lorenzo? Like,
Yeah, basically.
guys,
Just needs a break, man.
Like
He
I
plays
said,
every game. He
we
plays
won't go
every
into.
game.
There's even Coyote, like Michael Coyote at
Oh
Brentford
yeah, he
playing.
looks good in
Yeah,
England, eh?
he looks fantastic.
Calafiori.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Calafiori
a
right
few
now he's a
people
sure
named.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, not to get too much into the Italian national team, I'm sure we'll have a lot of discussions about that as well. Let's move on to weekend games, and maybe if we have a bit more time, we'll touch the Champions League games as well. A few games stand out for the weekend. We have Juve Napoli, we have Roma Milan. Me personally, Inter Pisa stands out because we're playing on Tuesday and then we're playing on Friday. I don't know who made the schedule, but it's crazy.
That
I've
is
never seen
crazy.
that before. I've never seen that
Holy
before.
cow.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. I had to double
Blame the
check on
TV
like,
money.
yeah, I had to
This
double
is
check.
this is a bone to pick with the Italian Federation. They always do this. Other leagues will shift fixtures
They protect
to
their
help
teams.
their teams in Europe. I remember when
Oh, they'll
Mourinho was
cancel
at
games,
Roma,
yeah.
like
Not
it
cancel, sorry,
was,
but they'll postpone. They'll
yeah,
not make them play on
postponed.
the weekend and
If
then put them 2 weeks later or play midweek somewhere.
I
the
mean,
Italian Federation will just, the requests are made, and Mourinho made a big deal of it when he was at Roma in that Conference League run. And I know it's a Conference League, but still, the fact of the matter is, it counts towards the coefficient. And why wouldn't a league help their own teams have success in Europe? They just refuse to shift games,
It's
and
insane.
I don't.
I've
They'll do it for the Coppa Italia, like.
had to
Super
go to
Copa.
Qatar and try to,
The
or
super,
whatever.
who
Where did they go? Where did they go for
who
the Super
like
Copa?
who gives a rat's ass about the Super Cup, and you're shifting games for that, and yet you're gonna make Inter play 2 important games in 5 days? Like, what are we doing,
I've
guys?
never, I
Like,
like,
In all
correct me
fairness,
if I'm
Inter
wrong. I've
won
never
this
seen
weekend.
this. I know, but I've never seen this.
The
Like a
I
Tuesday,
know,
Friday is crazy. Like
yeah, but
crazy.
the biggest winner of this weekend is already Inter. The 4 teams behind them are all playing each other.
Yeah, basically. So let's see. So Juve Napoli. Any predictions there? 1-1 draw.
Spalletti back in Napoli. I think, yeah. I mean,
No, they're playing in Torino.
yeah, good call. Back against Napoli. I guess seeing some familiar
Yeah,
faces, but not back in Naples.
yeah.
Um,
I think Napoli wins. Actually, I
yeah,
don't
I think
know. I don't know.
on form, I think I'd go with Napoli, just because they're a little bit more along in their project and in their tactical
We
system with Conte
we
than
talked about
Juve
it. The
is.
injuries. We talked
Yeah,
about the
and they
injuries. They're
play during the week.
decimated. Yeah, like they played a lot of games this month. Also, that's always bad for Conte. The Conte jinx, playing 2 or 3 games a week.
They're starting
I
that
don't
young
know.
kid up front, Vergara.
This game has a draw written
Mm,
all over it for me,
Yeah,
personally.
makes sense. Yeah,
little golden Puticino.
Maybe a
One
0-0, one of those.
a point each. Yeah, could be. I mean,
I say
I
Juve
think it's
scores
gonna.
early and McTominay ties it.
Of course, who else? Who else?
How about
Yeah, it's
Milan
definitely gonna be
Roma?
a tight one. Milan Roma, unfortunately, I mean, Roma's track record against big clubs over the past couple of years isn't great. Um, I don't know. Milan haven't looked like. Well, I mean, I'm saying this, and then last game they had an offensive explosion against Como, who was also one of the better defenses in the league. I think if Roma can keep the ball out of their net, I don't think they're getting shut out by Milan. Um, if Roma wins, it's a low scoring thing, um, but I would probably give the slight edge to Milan.
The reverse fixture, Milan won.
I believe
If you
so.
remember. That's the game where Dybala missed the penalty, if I'm not mistaken, right?
One important thing that you're missing, Joe, is that Roma plays on Thursday.
Yeah, Roma plays Thursday.
That's big.
Yeah.
Milan
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, and I think the game is shit.
It's away, I
It's
think.
in.
Where
It's
is
at
this?
no, it's at the
Yeah.
Olimpico. It's at the Olimpico.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's at the Olimpico.
Yeah, against Stuttgart though. Not an easy game.
And then
Highly
Roma
injuring
Milan
Stuttgart.
is also home, so at least it's 2 home games back to back. You know what? It's a cheap way out, but I'd like to see the lineup that faces Stuttgart before answering how we'll look against Milan.
I think he
You know,
rests
if
players in
if we get a
Europa.
lineup, with Zolkowski and Bailey, and then that shows me that Gasperini is prioritizing, at least for this week, the league. If they go all in versus Stuttgart at home to really settle their European spot moving on to the next round, then they'll definitely suffer that on the weekend. It's Villar. I mean, look, it's the defense. If Villar can stand on his head again and keep, if Pulisic stays snake bitten, and Villar can make a good save or two, maybe we can smash and grab 3 points. But anything above fourth place this year is gravy for Roma. Year one of a new ambitious project with a new manager who's bringing in a total change of system. Anything above fourth, I'm happy with. And these direct matchups are never fun for Roma fans. I mean, look, we just played Juve. We were on a good run of form. They were a little less so. We still lost, right? So traditionally, all the way back to Mourinho, we don't win the big head-to-heads, unfortunately.
Milan
Like
1-0. Let's go.
I honestly, I see that also. I see maybe even like a 2-0 Milan. I don't know. We'll see how Roma does. The thing, like you said, also you don't know who's showing up, which Roma is showing up. Milan's a little bit easier. They've been playing, the same way all season. They're playing once a week. That's why I vetted for them this year. I think Milan was going to have a great season from the beginning. Even our Fanta Calcio League, tried to pick a few Milan guys because I knew Allegri playing one game a week is money, right? So, but yeah, we'll see. But I think Remo was right. I think the real winner is Inter this week because if they win on Friday, especially that they play first. I guess that's the only silver lining about playing a Friday game is you set the tone for the weekend. You get those 3 points. You take a bigger jump. And then look, if Milan draws, if the Milan game's a draw, Juve game's a draw, it's only the biggest winner out of all of this is Inter for sure.
Let's not count out Pisa though.
No, it's never count out Pisa for sure. And but Inter this
I
year,
think
the
they're
small
gonna give them a little
teams,
run.
yeah. But the Inter versus the small teams, we have 100% record this year, honestly. So we've been playing well, but we'll see. I think maybe like we said, maybe the Tuesday
The
Friday games
schedule.
will come. Yeah, the scheduling will ruin that, and maybe let's segue to that Tuesday game. One of the bigger games, and Inter versus Arsenal Tuesday. It's going to be battle of the corners and headers. Feeling a 1-0 game or a 1-1 game. Hopefully we win. There's been a feud on a Twitter feud between Inter and Arsenal fans for a while now, especially last year after we played. But like emotionally, I hope we smash them. It would feel so good. I always love, and I'm one of those Serie A fans that if there's a Serie A team playing in Europe and they're playing versus a Premier League team, no matter the team, I'll always go for that Serie A team, even if they're my biggest rival. I just want them to smash that other team. So this is going to be a feel good game if we can go ahead and beat Arsenal. But Arsenal are flying high. I think they're pretty sure they're first in the Premier League. Correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like they're probably going to win the league as well, with the other teams not that close and shifting up and down. So, but I think it's two very similar teams going up against one another on the pitch, and might be one of the best games, or honestly, really, really bad game for the neutral overall to watch.
Yeah, I think
Go
Arsenal's
ahead, Joe.
is they're top of the table top of the table in the Prem and top of the table in the Champions League table
It's a
under the
big
new
game for Inter,
format.
though. You talk about the table, but it's a big game for Inter technically if we want to stay in those guaranteed that top 8 spot, right? Because
Yeah,
these are big points that could drop us down into having to play another 2 games, which I don't want us to do.
yeah,
Continue,
and it's
sorry.
super tight in that area, right? I mean, you've got Inter was in sixth on I believe I
12
closed out of
points.
the window on 12, yeah, and then there's a bunch of teams sitting on 11, on 10, so that table is super close. Arsenal's a tough opponent. I think what might help Inter, and maybe I'm wrong, Arsenal's in the mix for 4 competitions right now. Their place in the top 8 is pretty
Almost
secure.
secure.
5,
Yeah, it is.
yeah. So maybe they rotate slightly. I mean, I don't think they're gonna, disrespect the competition with a starting 11 full of second stringers, but they might not be paying as much attention to this game as Inter would be, in a must-win situation. So I like Inter's odds, and similar to you, um, I'll always cheer for the Italian teams in Europe, especially Roma being a second competition team. The more spots we have, the better. So yeah, and I'm just fed up with people talking shit on Serie A. So the more teams that could do well, the happier I am. Um,
I'd be
yeah,
happy with a tie. I'll allow a tie.
Yeah,
I can't support Inter.
I don't think a
A
tie is
tie is
a
as
horrible
far
result, though.
as a tie is as far as I could go. Um, I mean, Arsenal's very good defensively. It's,
Well, we're at home.
it's
One
gonna
thing
be,
that
yeah, I
that
know.
that helps,
It's
right?
very tough though.
Um,
It's gonna be tough. Inter's not doing well against big teams this year,
yeah, it's
and
a good game to
I
try
don't
to
know.
shake that off.
If you leave with a tie, you're happy. But I think that the more important thing for Serie A is Napoli beating Copenhagen.
100%.
That's a direct
yeah.
matchup. They're both on 7 points in the last 2 spots for the round. What is it? Round of 32. The next round. I don't know.
Yep.
I hate this new format.
I'm still
But
not fully like I've watched YouTube
yeah,
videos and I still can't wrap my head around. I don't want to sound
I
like a
have I
boomer, but I
have to
just hate it so much.
I have to say last year was a little bit more exciting.
mhm.
But like now we're getting into the nitty gritty. I found like it really
Yeah.
ramps
Now
up
it
now.
gets
Like
exciting.
exactly, it gets exciting more towards the end. Those first games they feel kind of a little bit more meaningless. They feel like that, but they're very important. Look at Inter, we won versus a few you would say lesser caliber teams, right? Those pot 4 or 6, I forgot how many pots there were, teams. But now it gets a little bit more exciting where you can look at the table and you see 5 teams on 9 points, 3 teams on 10 points, and anybody can shift up and down with these last 2 games. So it does get a little bit more exciting. And like Remo said, important games for Napoli, even Atalanta. Atalanta are having a fairy tale run again in the Champions League. There's something about Atalanta in the Champions League that just their style of play it just works so well, or the way they built their team. But
It's
yeah, they have a
experience
chance
too,
to make the
right?
top 8. Yeah,
Those players are experienced now in Champions League. They know how to play. They know how to travel. They know how to play. They know the atmosphere. It doesn't intimidate them anymore, and that
yeah.
makes a huge difference in Champions League.
And they're playing
Yeah.
Athletic on Wednesday, so
Yeah,
I think that's
but we
a
could all agree
doable game.
Juve could lose. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, Juve has a tough game. Benfica, them too.
Yeah, I know.
They're just like
The Mourinho.
Napoli. Yeah, basically.
Mourinho comes back to Italy.
But
Yeah. And
it's must-win games.
he's never been shy to take shots at Juventus either. So
Never does well
um,
against Juventus either.
Anyways, it's must-win games, I think, for all
Yeah,
the Italian
for all of
teams.
them. Yeah,
So I think this week we have to put on our Serie A supporters hats and try to make sure we cheer on all the Italian teams because they all need to win for different reasons. Some just to stay in the competition or stay alive, and others like to stay on top with Atalanta and Inter. So some big games coming up. And that's it, boys. Honestly, we did everything we wanted to talk about. So I think for a first spot, we did pretty well. So congratulations to you guys. Tip of the hat.
Yeah, congratulations. Good job,
But
guys. I think that was fun.
definitely it was amazing. We'll do it every week, right? We'll come back next week.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
We'll have like a Twitter, I guess. I'm assuming, I'm hoping someone will listen to this other than my wife. We'll probably have a Twitter if you get, if there's questions or ideas or feedback. We're happy to hear it all.
Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram. I have a what's it called?
Substack.
Yeah, there's Substack set up already. We could share some stuff through there as well.
Yeah, and we could we'll put our Twitter or our X handles in the description. Individually and for the podcast, and you guys can reach out and let us know what you thought, what you want to hear more of, and we'll keep the good times going.
Keep it going. Same time next week, Monday. We'll review. We can review the Champions League. We can review the Serie A weekend as well. So lots to talk about next weekend, next Monday. But thank you guys for listening. If you did, like Joe said, maybe it's just his wife. So hi to his wife. But other than that, we really appreciate it.